I will mute my microphone to noise.
Hello, everyone. We are just waiting for the attendees to arrive, and we'll start in a few moments. Thank you for being here and being interested in the Open Innovation Factory. I can see people still arriving. And you are going to be on mute, so just a heads up to all attendees. And you have a questions panel where you can type in your questions, and we will try to answer them as accurately as possible after the presentation. So don't hesitate to ask your questions in the questions panel while the presentation is ongoing. So now it's 3:02. Let's wait for one more minute and then we are going to hit it. Okay, a few more seconds. As I can still see the attendees list growing. Okay, so welcome everyone to the official info session of the first cut of of Open Innovation Factory 2024. My name is Dénes Csiszár. I'm an acceleration manager at EIT Digital. I'm overlooking all our early stage startup programs, and let me introduce you my co-hosts for today. So first of all, Ana Gonzalez, who is our able innovation analyst, helping us to make sure that everything is played by the book, and also Antonio Garcia Hortal, who is the innovation lead responsible for Open Innovation Factory. He's going to be the one working with you during the execution phase of the project. So our agenda for today will be a very short introduction of EIT Digital. Then I'm going to talk about the Open Innovation Factory Cutoff 1 for a bit longer. Then we are going to show you some success stories, the next steps, and then we'll close with a Q&A. Once again, you are all muted, so please open up the chat panel and ask your questions there in the questions panel. So Antonio will be able to see that, and we can answer them after the presentation part. If all goes well, we are going to be a lot faster than these first 50 minutes. So first of all, about EIT Digital. So EIT Digital is running Europe's largest digital innovation ecosystem. So we have a master school, which is like a real accredited master's graduation with the help of our university partners. We have incubation programs, we have acceleration programs, we have multiple partners throughout Europe. We have more than 300 corporate partners. We have more than 500 startups that have been working with. We actually have close to 300 in our equity portfolio, meaning that that's the amount of startups who have received financial support from EIT Digital. We have about 3,000 students who are very valuable alumni. We work with 56 universities. We have 21 offices in Europe. We are in connection with about 1,000 investors, and we even have a hub in Silicon Valley. So EIT Digital is an impact and a partnership organization. So altogether, what is super important is that we don't do anything on our own. So whatever the program is, we are doing it with our partners. We are doing it with corporate partners. We are doing it with research institutes. We are doing it with incubation partners. We are doing it with startups and corporates. We have lots of programs, and I think the numbers speak about themselves. We are following the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and this Open Innovation Factory project or cutoff has to match the strategic innovation agendas. We'll talk about that in a moment. So, like I said, we have been working with a lot of startups, so literally hundreds of startups throughout the years. These are some of the ventures who have been emerging from our ecosystem, because we're really about ecosystem. So when I started my speech, I told you that we are the largest innovation ecosystem in digital innovation ecosystem in Europe. I would add the word deep tech to that. So EIT Digital is all about deep tech, and our portfolio companies and the companies with whom we are working with are all deep tech companies. So I mentioned our offices, so you can find the closest pin to your exact location. As I mentioned, we even have an office in Silicon Valley. We just opened an office in Cluj, in Romania, 2 in Greece. These are our latest additions, but you'll be able to find the closest office who will probably help you throughout the procedure of applying to the Open Innovation Factory. We are covering everything from unipreneurship to become a unicorn. So we have our master school, we have summer school, we have programs for our university students where they are just starting to try themselves to become an entrepreneur. So they are literally unipreneurs. We are supporting them with training, with coaching, mentoring, funding via different artifacts from our portfolio. We have an incubator that's called the EIT Digital Venture Program, which we are running via incubation partners. So for the super early stage companies who have barely left idea stage and only have a prototype, I highly recommend to check out that program, as we are running it in more than 25 countries in Europe. And then come acceleration and the EIT Digital Open Innovation Factory, namely, which is the program we are talking about. If you are talking in or thinking in startup terms, it's like late pre-seed or an early seed stage program where we provide lots of benefits for our companies. We have EIT Digital Speedmaster, which is like sort of startup MBA. It's an intense course of 14 weeks of trainings every Tuesday, super intense, extremely useful, lots of awesome educators who are joining our ranks, delivering this program. Our growth services run two types of programs. So when you are in Series A or Series B stage, then our awesome colleagues are providing you access to finance. So they are connecting you to that 1,000 investors, helping you to a successful Series A or Series B fundraise. Or if you are really the best of the best and want to target the US, which is a super interesting market on its own, we have our US lending program, which is helping you to set foot in the United States with the help of our great colleagues from overseas. And we hope you can be a unicorn after working with us. So EIT Digital Open Innovation Factory. This is the program you are curious about. So let's provide some further details about that. So first of all, this is a program which provides up to 400K euros of financial support to the startup in return for equity. So what's the amount of that equity? It has to be a minimum of 5.5%, but it's going to be you whenever you are filling out the application form who is actually offering that equity, which has to be a minimum of 5.5%. The program is 6 months long. In your case, it's going to start in July the 1st, and it's going to take, as you can imagine, until the 31st of December. And there's like a validation goal, which is phrased in this program as you need to reach 10K euros of revenue during the program. So between July the 1st and December the 31st, you have to reach 10K euros of revenue from the service or product that is boosted under the umbrella of this program. We are going to help you in many, many ways, which I'm going to emphasize in the next slides. What is important here as a takeaway, that your startup can't be more than 3 years old, and we define 3 years old as in it has to be established no earlier than January the 1st, 2020, and you already have to have traction. So what traction means, in an ideal case, it means revenue. In a less ideal case, it means customers, non-paying customers who are using your product. We will connect you with our venture capital and corporate venture capital partners. And also we are members of the European Business Angels Network, and we have a very special close connection with them. So should you be in a stage where angel funding is more accurate or more timely than an institutional VC investment, then we are going to help you to get connected to your local or foreign business angel network. So how do we help? First of all, because EIT Digital, as you might know, is a partially EU-funded entity. So you have like a sort of EU validation on you, like a stamp that we believe in you, and we can connect you to other EIT programs. If you start browsing the EIT family, you will see that we have EIT Health, EIT InnoEnergy, EIT Raw Materials, and so on. So a bunch of these different EITs. We are all connected, but we are separate entities. So we are EIT Digital, taking care of deep tech. But should you be like a health tech startup, we can connect you with our brothers over there at EIT Health, for example. We regularly apply to EU calls together with our portfolio companies. These are these large EU calls. You can browse like startup tools and innovation ecosystem building calls and so on. So these are the ones I'm talking about. Of course, since we are an ecosystem organization, and we like to say that we connect the dots. So we're gonna connect you to future customers in the form of, for example, corporates. I mentioned investors several times. Yeah, it's super crucial to have follow-on investments until you reach the stage where you can make like a nice exit. We can connect you with service providers. So should you need a good marketing agency or a software development organization or a research institute, we can help you to get connected to those guys. Access to talent is a service we offer, meaning that we connect you to our 3,000 master school alumni students. So should you need like a CTO, for example, then I'm sure we can find that in that large pool of talent we have. We will provide you visibility. So EIT Digital has, I believe, more than 30,000 followers now on LinkedIn, and we regularly apply I mean, successfully apply for presentation at large European events. So the last one I've been to was Web Summit, where we did a presentation. Many of our startups were there. We are going to attend many events, including VivaTech, Sifted, and so on. And we like to take our startups with us there so they can mingle and network and have a booth even in the case of some. We ran a series by our awesome marketing communications teams called Spotlight, where we are focusing on one of our or a few of our startups, bringing them to the world to shed some more light on what they are doing. And I already mentioned training, mentoring, and coaching. So in the case of the Open Innovation Factory companies, it means that they receive one free ticket to the Speedmaster Executive Startup Training, but it's also a must. So whoever enters the program must delegate at least one personnel to attend the Speedmaster training, which in your case will start in September the 10th, I believe. So the ultimate goal is to make and create European success stories. So like I said, we are a partially EU-funded entity. We are a deep tech and an ecosystem organization. Our main goal is to create a strong European innovation ecosystem. And of course, startups is a great part of that strong European startup ecosystem. So with that, as they say, I declare that the Open Innovation Factory 2024 cutoff one is now open. So we have opened up actually a few days ago the application form. You can start applying as of today. The deadline for application, which we call cutoff date, is on the 10th of April. And from the 10th of April until, let's say, mid-early June, we will take our time to make sure that we will select the best companies. So there's going to be a rather complex evaluation. And then on July the 1st, the Open Innovation Factory startup teams will start their work. The word activities will appear in many of our call documents. So activity is the project you are doing from July the 1st till December the 31st. So if you ever see activity, that means that. And venture to be boosted means you, the startup who is applying. An important rule of Open Innovation Factory, and that's why it's not, like a fund or an investment. It's open innovation, meaning that more than one companies have to apply together. So you have to have at least one additional partner who is from another eligible country. So that means you can't apply alone. So you need to find a partner. And later on, I will tell you how can we help you to find a partner. The maximum or the amount is 4. So the ideal number is something between 2 to 4. And you need to become an EIT Digital partner along with the partner applying with you until the start of the activity. If you remember, activity means your project from July the 1st till December the 31st. So you need to become an EIT Digital partner, and also the partner with whom you're applying has to become an EIT Digital partner as well. So I mentioned the strategic focus areas. So we are looking for applicants in the fields of digital tech, digital cities, digital industry, digital well-being, or digital finance. when you are uploading your application, there's going to be like a drop down or checkbox where you need to select one of these areas. You can see the different keywords, so what belongs to that strategic focus area. And I highly recommend you to read the document that's on the bottom left. And of course, this presentation will be downloadable in the form of PDF later on, and we are also recording it. So whenever you want to watch it again, or you want to send it to someone, you will be able to do that, because everything will be downloadable later on from the same website where you registered. So back to the topic, we are looking for great startups from any of these 5 areas, or for more than one area from these 5. All of our venture portfolio companies are actually from one or more of these strategic focus areas. So I mentioned that you need a partner, and I also mentioned that we will help you to find partners. So we have a matchmaking form on the website, on the right side, middle-ish, where it says that matchmaking form. So you can click on it. If you are, if you don't have a partner, I actually highly recommend to try to find a partner on your own, because then the partner will be really the one you want to work with. But of course, our entire ecosystem and all the ecosystem leads from the different regions will be able to help you in finding a right partner. So if you are a startup, what you need to upload there is a pitch deck, a video introduction, and to select what are the type of partners you are looking for. So are you looking for a first customer? Are you looking for a research institute, for example, to work with? If you are a corporate and you have a challenge which you want to solve, like you have I don't know, a micro-mobility challenge, and you're a large corporate with a large site that you need to solve, you can upload this problem to the website, ticking some boxes about how the ideal innovation partner for this would look like. Or if you are a research institute or a university having an awesome IP which you want to valorize, that is the place to upload that, saying that you are looking for startups to help to develop that on, or you're looking for first customers or other research institutes. Remember, your partner must come from a different country, right? So if you are in Germany, you need a partner that's outside Germany. But our team is going to help you to find your ideal partner should that need arise. I mentioned financial support. So this is a grant for equity model. We can provide up to 400K, which can cover 50% of the eligible costs. And there's like a question in the application form, which you need to answer about how will you co-finance the additional part of the project. So we can provide up to 400K, but if we provide, for example, 350K, then you have to somehow have the other 350K. Like having a co-investor is awesome. If you already have that amount of money in your treasury, or you're counting on revenue from customers, that's also great. You can see on the financing timetable on the right how we are going to give you the money. So 10% at the beginning of the activity, then midterm evaluation, which happens exactly at the end of 3 months, we can give you 25% more. Then at the end of the activity and reporting, which is in January-ish, we will provide you up to 25% again. And after the final delivery evaluation, the final delivery is a bunch of documents you need to fill, and of course the end result of the activity. You know, activity means the project. So the end result of the activity, all the deliverables have been submitted, then, and we have evaluated that, making sure that all the eligibility and formal and content-wise requirements have been met, then we are going to give you the additional 40%. I mentioned that we would like to have equity in the startup, and only in the startup, right? So if you're applying with a large corporate, we don't want to be shareholders in the corporate. We want to be shareholders in the startup. So you need to offer an equity in the application form. The number has to be something between 5.5 and 12%. The last line, meaning transfer requires no additional payment, means that you will see that the actual share transfer is happening after the activity. So after the 31st of December, but we are not going to pay any additional fee for that. So the financing, the up to 400K financing, we have to cover the share transfers and everything else related to that. How does a strong proposal look like? So if you are a startup who has already found the problem solution fit, I'm not talking about product market fit, I'm talking about problem solution fit, meaning that it solves a clear business pain, right? The solution is leveraging deep tech technologies, and you have an existing traction with the product or service you are applying to Open Innovation Factory, then we deem that it has a good problem solution fit. You need to be able to make a market impact. So I mentioned customer multiple times. So history shows that our evaluators prefer a project where the customer is part of the application team, or one of the strong customers is part of the team applying to Open Innovation Factory. It's also super important that the IP asset has to sit within the company that it's applying to the Open Innovation Factory, meaning everything must be in the ownership of the startup, or has to have like an unconditional license to use that IP. Of course, we wouldn't want, companies turning up 2 years after, when you are super successful, saying that they need $3 million now, so or otherwise they are suing you for IP infringement. The venture team, so the startup team has to have deep tech expertise. Of course, we would really want to see committed teams. So team actually is a super strong evaluation criteria for Open Innovation Factory. So please have all the roles defined clearly, all the skills gaps filled, or at least tick that we need to hire a person for this role later on, and we know that that has to be solved. You will need to attach some short CVs, so we need strong entrepreneurial CVs and LinkedIn profiles, and of course, financial planning. What's a startup without good financial planning? So you will need to indicate a good use of resources. How much is going to that particular partner? How much is going to employees, and so on and so on and so on. So there's a form you need to fill in that regard. If you have a future investment commitment, it's a huge plus. Again, history shows that our evaluators super prefer this. And just to make it clear, by future investor commitment, we are looking for actual signed soft commitments by investors that should this and that happen, they are willing to invest in the future to your startup. That's a huge plus for an application. Okay, so that was about Open Innovation Factory. And before turning on to the actual timelines, I would like to show you 4 success stories. So first is Ariadne Maps, which joined Open Innovation Factory 5 years ago. So Ariadne, they are developing a patented indoor navigation system, which is used by multiple airports. Their partners, you can see it included Nokia Hungary for testing, included a company from Germany as an IP provider, and they have like many customers, and they just closed the Series A round of 7 million a few months ago from some pretty awesome investors. The next story is AR for Alpha. They are creating an AI to help you make better investment decisions. The company was from France. They had a Swiss partner who is Lombard-Odier, like a super famous financial institute. Like I said, having the first customer or a strong customer in the proposal is a huge plus again. So they have a lot of customers they could attract some serious angel investors during the 6 months of the project. So they really hit a nerve with their solution. Biosimulatics, a bit more than 1 year ago. So they are creating an AI or a machine learning algorithm that helps the pharma industry significantly, trying to determine whether like a crystal structure will be stable or unstable. They have like Sanofi as a customer, and they have been selected by EIC with 2.5 million grant, followed by 6.1 million investment for equity. So again, they are one of our crown jewels, shining stars. Also, Clevergy, they have created some algorithms. Again, AI. Everything is about AI nowadays. To monitor and optimize energy consumption. And if something is not about AI, then it's about energy nowadays. So they are a Spanish company with an Italian partner, and they already made some significant revenue during the 6 months of the program. So with that, some of the next steps, timeline, and so on. So the extended time, previously I've shown you that the application deadline is April 10th. Brussels, that's it. Okay, so I super strongly suggest not to leave it to the last second. If you missed it, if you are submitting at 5:05, no exceptions, no appeal for that, you're out, and you can only apply to cutoff to later. So be super mindful of time. I mentioned there's going to be an evaluation, very thorough. You can read the details and the different evaluation criteria in the call-specific documents available on the website. Long story short, after some point-wise or point-based evaluation, we are going to do due diligence calls with the pre-selected project teams, where you will need to pitch, and then we will ask, of course, a lot of questions. So there's going to be about 7-8 of us on the call, asking questions to make sure that you are a right fit for EIT Digital. Then from July the 1st, the activity will start its execution phase. You are going to sign the support contract, you are going to sign the share transfer agreement, and then from September the 10th, you are going to start your Speedmaster training. And after the program in early 2025, you will do the report. So that's when the share transfer actually is going to happen. And we will give you some feedback on the money sent there. So please read the call documents. Okay, it's very important. There are two call documents in there. One is the generic, and the other is the cutoff specific one. Please read both and make sure that that Open Innovation Factory is a right program for you. Okay, it's crucial that you understand all the implications, all the rules, the evaluation, how it goes, what you need to do, what's going to happen, and so on. So how can you apply? You can apply on the EIT Digital intranet. The URL is there. Workspaces, eitdigital.eu. First, you need to register, and then you need to submit your proposal there. All right. Again, important, read the call documents and read the strategic innovation agenda. We also have an FAQ from the questions asked by similar attendees in previous years. So please read the FAQ. We're gonna run 2 additional sessions, 2 Q&A events. One's gonna happen on the 20th of February, the other on the 19th of March. One is going to be in the morning, the other in the afternoon. We are trying to accommodate to suitable business hours. Please send your questions 72 hours in advance so we can upload them to the FAQ section of the website. Again, if you need to help finding partners, upload your data to the matchmaking form on the right side of the website until the 10th of March, okay? Because the application deadline is the 10th of April, and we think you need at least a few weeks to to strike all the bargains and for all the negotiations with your partner. And therefore, we are going to close the matchmaking form 1 month before the application deadline. Okay, oif@eitdigital.eu is your main point of contact. If you need any help, just ask any questions during the application procedure. We will make sure that we are helping you as much as we can. We have a great team who will accommodate you with that. And that was it. I mentioned I plan to be a lot faster than the originally planned 50 minutes because I'm sure we have a lot of questions in the panel, which I can't see now, but I'm going to stop sharing and then I will be able to see that as well. So with that, I'm giving it to Antonio for the questions. I think you're on mute, Antonio, or at least I can't hear you.
Sorry, it's true that I was mute. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we have answered many of the questions so far in the panel, but for the ones that are still there, I will do it speaking that can be faster. So the next one that I can see is which are the main difference between this call and the previous one. I think structurally they are quite similar. The main change in are the parameters, especially the equity range, that in this program is from 5.5 to 15 or to 12. But the minimum is 5.5. In the previous one, it was smaller. What type of costs are eligible? In general, there are all the costs that are established in the Horizon Europe annotated grant agreement are eligible in this program. I can do a summary that is in general personal cost of employees, contractors. Second is, or even the founders of the companies, that the owners of the SMEs that are not employees can report a theoretical cost. So in general, personal, subcontracting, that is not in general is not the preferred cost in the European calls, but it's possible to subcontract a company that is doing some development, some other work for the solution. And the part of purchasing that includes traveling, accommodation, the equipment that is specific for this activity, no general computers, etc. But if you need some use of servers or sensors or IoT devices, they can be considered as eligible cost. And also we have an option that is other goods and services that includes some services that are not specific for building the solution, but are needed, that can be like legal services to protect the IP, legal services to organize the part of the transfer of equity to EIT Digital, marketing services to define something for your product or to do something for the product. In general, if you have you need details, I recommend that you go, that is in our the information about the documents in the call. They are additional information about the eligible cost, but also a link to the specific details in the Horizon Europe grant agreement. But I would say that most of the costs that are devoted to build the solution and put that in the market are eligible, except financial cost and these kind of things. Can you define deep tech, please? Yes, there is a definition in the call document, but doing a very simple approach is what we are looking in this program is startups that are solving a business pain or exploiting a business opportunity using advanced technologies. there is not a strict restriction about how advanced the technology is. It's something that is an evaluation depending on how advanced the technology you can be better evaluated. But here there is in general in the calls there are all kind of technologies, machine learning, AI, IoT. In general, because we are looking something that is close to the market, it's very difficult that a proposal about quantum computing can do something, can generate market traction in only 6 months. But in general, I would say that the use of advanced technologies to solve business problems. Do we qualify if our startup evaluation based on existing recent investment is 8 million euros? Yeah, this is something that is you have to evaluate that, but probably you are in the top limit. That is because, as you mentioned in the question, at that valuation, 400K is below the limit of the equity required. So probably you are in the you are too mature to evolve for this program. Next one is, as a startup that needs financing to grow and develop, how can I participate if you only post finance? That's clear. How other participants solve this financing gap? We would apply because we don't have the funds, but we will need to have the funds and spend it to actually get your grant if we understand it correctly. And yes, you have understood it correctly, that this is because it's structured through a grant model. You need to report costs that will be reimbursed by the grant, one part of those costs. But I think we have explained in the presentation. If not, I will do it. That is, there is a pre-financing regarding the budget that you are proposing. That pre-financing is not very large in the initial part. It's at the beginning it's like 10% and 25% during the activity time frame. But it's true that you need to look for the resources to pay for those resources and then recover later the part of those costs. We have seen different cases. It's very common that there is some investors that are that can consider that you are involved in this program, so you are going to recover later the money can co-invest with EIT Digital. We have seen some companies that, depending on the case, they are able to go to the bank and to get in advance based on the collateral of the grant. If you are a startup, you can also consider the case that I explained about the eligible cost, that are the owners of the startups that are not employees, because in that case, it's a cost that it can be reported, is accepted by the Horizon Europe rules, but the startup does not need to cash out that part because it's a theoretical cost. In addition, I didn't mention that, but most of those costs have over them added 25% that is called indirect cost. But in the case of a startup, it's like a margin that you don't need to justify, but it's considered as cost of the project also. Do we need to make money from exactly that product services by the end of the program? Yes, but you don't need to. You don't need to get the money exactly for the sales of the product. It is also valid if you have a paid pilot from one possible customer and you agree with them that they can pay for your product and it's for the pilot. This is also valid, but you need to show at the end of the activity the evidence that someone is willing to pay for your product. But it's very common that in our proposals is even the product is going to be launched later, you can get a customer that is willing to pay for a pilot, and then you can discuss with them some future discount if they get the full product at the end. We are a medical software, but we use machine learning and AI. We are incorporated since October 2023. Are we eligible? Yes, in general, yes, you are eligible. Can we have access to these slides? Of course, we will, in a couple of days, the slides and the recording will be available in our webpage for Open Innovation Factory in the EIT Digital website. I can apply for the EIC Pathfinder and EIT Digital for the same project. You can apply, but this is not a restriction in the application. But what is a restriction is that in this project that we have mentioned that EIT Digital will refund half of the total cost. What is not allowed is that the other half is supported by EU grants too. So it's possible that you apply for the Pathfinder and for the EIT Digital, but it's very possible that you cannot execute both of them at the end. Applying is not a problem, but the execution can be a problem. For us, it's not a problem if you apply to the Pathfinder and you apply for the EIT Digital, and then you are able to show the rest of the co-funding required, let's say more than 50%, by other kind of funds. I would say something, suppose that you require EIT as the Pathfinder, you receive a grant of 200,000, another grant for 200,000 from EIT Digital, but you are able to show 500,000 in own funding, support by other sources. I think that probably could be eligible. But in any case, I suggest that this you need to check in detail with us. Has any of the question within the application portal changed since the last cutoff? If you mean the questions that are used by the reviewers, external reviewers, or the MC gate in the selection gates, they have changed slightly. They are on the same focus, but you need to check that in the specific cutoff document because some of them have changed in some direction. Nothing that is very structural. The only thing is that what Dennis mentioned, that the minimum limit now for the equity to be offered is 5.5. But I recommend that you go to the specific cutoff document and you read the question there. Can a large company be a partner in this proposal? If so, will the 400,000 euros grant be split between the partners, or is just for the startup? In general, the 400,000 is the maximum for the total activity. So it has to be distributed between the partner, the startup, and the additional partners. The recommendation is that most of this amount goes to the startup, but depending on the case, we have seen proposal where it was more interesting for the startup that the part of the grant went to a different partner for any reason. But this is the case is that the 400,000 is the maximum for the total consortium. And there is no problem that a large company is a partner in the proposal. In fact, it's very common that corporates participate in the proposal, in many cases as pilot customers of the startups, and then they are the ones that are testing the solution. When using subcontractors, is there a preferred limit or range we should stick to? There is not a formal limit in the question for the selection. In general, it is recommended that it's not the main part of the budget, but you can justify the budget in the way that you want, and in any case it will be important that the main IP resides or stays in the startup. No, it's not a good proposal if you have an idea, but it's a subcontractor, the one that is the owner of the IP. This is. If your business model is to be a research and development partner for other startups, can you describe the procedure to become a partner in EIT Digital? In that case, the partnership is something that is independent from the program. There are many services that EIT Digital does for the partners. This is an independent process. If you mean to participate in this project and your business model is not doing a solution but helping others to build their solution, my recommendation is that you enter that in the matchmaking tool, because there are many other partners that have the solution or the deep tech solution, but they need a complementary partner that can help. So in that case, my recommendation is that you enter in the matchmaking tool, offering what you can do and explaining what country you are and how you can help. Is there any reason not to get the final amount of money? I try to understand the risk of pre-financing. Yes, one reason to need to give back the pre-financing is to step out of the program. This has happened in some cases. In that case, you are not eligible for any cost. The other reasons can be that you are not able to report enough cost to receive the total grant. In that case, the total grant, because the maximum is 50% of the cost that you report. So in that case, it could happen that if you don't report all the cost that you requested, in that case, the grant could be smaller. It's important to add that in that case, the equity that has been promised will not change because this is a condition. EIT Digital needs to make that grant available, and then it's a problem for you, but also for us not to use the resources that we have requested to the EU, to the public money. Other reason could be that you don't achieve the promised KPIs, especially if you haven't achieved the commercial traction evidence. In that case, or if the quality of the deliverables is extremely bad and you don't correct that when you are requested, there could be a penalty on the grant that reduces the total amount. It is not very common because we do a quick follow-up with the activities, but it's true that this can happen. What is a theoretical cost? When I mentioned theoretical cost about the one type of cost that is SME owners that are not employees, is the cost of, for example, the founders of the startups. It's very common that they are not employees. They are working for the company, but only because they own the company and they expect that the company grows in value and the reward will come in the future. But they are not employees. They are not receiving a salary. In that case, the Horizon Europe rules allow to report a cost that is not paid. The rest of the cost needs to be paid. For example, if you travel, you need to pay for the travel, for the flight, for the accommodation. If you have an employee, you need to pay the payroll to that employee. But in the case of these founders that are not employees, you can report one cost that is based on standard. It depends on the country, but it is variable from about 250 to 330 euros a day. That means that if you are the founder of a startup that are not employee, you can already, without any payment from the company, you can already report about 30,000. You need to calculate that, but about 30,000 euros of cost. And over that, 25% will be added. So maybe it can be about 35 or 40,000 euros of cost that you don't need to pay. This is a big difference. This is what I called it a theoretical cost, because the company does not need to pay for that. In some cases, this is called also sweat equity, because it's the payment for the people that is receiving that is based on the equity in the company and not in the salaries. Can the paying customer come from a non-EU country? Yes, that is not a restriction. You can have a customer in another country, and this is considered a valid evidence of commercial traction. What if this services is an integration? AI decision support tool development, which will be integrated to existing product. Okay, this is a AI decision support tool. Is something that you can sell to the owners of the other products, and it's a kind of a B2B business. You are selling to other product manufacturers, but you need to show that some of these products is willing to pay this 10K at the end of the activity for your integration tool, or for your tool integrated. But this is possible, it's not a restriction. What is the earliest phase our project should be to be eligible for your program? If we are talking about the TRL, we are looking at in the part of the innovation. I think it's about the minimum should be like TRL 6, 7. I think they are good. Before that, you need to be very fast to reach this condition that you need to be paid for your product. Can we apply for a project where there is a variable eligible cost depending on the commercial success reach? So the EIT Digital funding in the same way. That is clear. The point is that you need to enter a budget in the proposal, and this budget cannot be variable. You need to fix one budget. If this is variable depending on the commercial success, and this is the 10K is already there, my recommendation is that you need, in any case, you need to enter a fixed budget at the end in the proposal, so you can explain that. It depends, but both the budget and the equity are in the proposal, and the budget cannot be exceeded later, even if you have additional revenues, and the equity cannot be decreased even if you have less revenue. So it's something, it's not easy. My recommendation is that maybe you can aim to the lower part, but you need to consider that the balance between the equity proposal and the budget that you are requesting. The smart cities is one of the topics. A partner could be a city in another country who is a potential customer, for sure. As far as it's answered by Dennis, that is totally, yes, it's very common that happens. A customer, a city that is in another country is a perfect partner. Even we have some cities that are partners, so maybe in some cases they can talk with you to be partners of your proposal. We are an AI startup, and our strategy involves working with partners to get data and build patentable AI tools subsequently. We already have partners willing to develop the solution. Does that satisfy the advanced test criteria? Difficult to say, but I would say that yes. As far as your solution is a solution, and it's not just that you are providing AI experts, and it's not a solution. The point is that you need to have the most IP in your company that needs to be demonstrable, or you need to have an evidence that can be a patent, that can be trade secret, they can be know-how that is difficult to repeat, but what you cannot, for example, a consulting company cannot apply to this solution. But if you have a solution that helps with that, probably yes. You mentioned about the traction, that is there. If there are no revenue, it could be potential customers. Should be letter of intent or certain amount of them, any tangible metrics, and then it's just answered yes. But it's important that you need to be conscious that this letter of intents are not valid as final evidence. It can be valid as initial evidence in the proposal, but the final evidence needs to be an invoice by someone. It's not valid a letter of interest or letter. But the proposal is valid as far as the sounder they are, the better. But you are taking a risk if you don't have this 10Ks totally assured. Can an investor be considered a partner? Not really, because it can be. An investor can participate as a partner, but remember that a partner is someone that is doing effort, is providing effort for the solution. If the investor is only providing money, this is not a partner. It's something that strengthens all of the proposals. If you have an investor and you enter in the application form, you'll have to declare if you have an investor that wants to enter in the proposal, but they cannot be partners in the strict sense of partners, because partners are companies that are providing effort and reporting costs. But it's very good. If you have an investor, I recommend that you look for another partner and you apply, because that makes the proposal very strong. And then it's also answered that the investor is the customer, and not only that's true. That if the investor is the customer, or if the investor wants to provide some additional support with cost reporting, like taking some of the tasks, approaching the market, any other task that implies cost reporting, it is valid too. I think I have answered all the questions. Yes, I think we have answered all the questions that are now in the question panel. We will complete the question panel, and many of them that are general, they will be included in the frequent asked questions that are in our web page, and you can check many of the things that some of the things that we have asked here are there. Some others that are interesting for startups or companies that want to apply are in the frequent asked questions. So I recommend that you you go there and you check also other questions that have been asked by other people. And if that case, Dennis, I think we can close.
Yeah, just what I wanted to ask is don't forget that we have 2 Q&A sessions, one on February the 20th, the other March the 19th. So if you are looking for further answers, or you just want to dial in and listen to other people's questions and answers, it might be a good idea to register on the right side panel in the website. And should you need any further help, it's oif@eitdigital.eu, where you can ask your questions. We will make the deck and the recording of this presentation available on the website in the upcoming few days. So you can check it, download it for all the links that you might want to access. This is what I wanted to. And with that, we thank you for the attendance. Thank you for all the questions. And we hope to see many, many, many awesome applications this year as well. So thank you so much for being here.
Okay. In that case, I think we can close the call for today. Thank you very much to everyone.